I'm Paul Huizinga, this is Al Oppenheiser, and I've been fortunate enough to come to these pre-SEMA GM events for a couple of years, but I don't think I've ever seen you roll as deep with Camaros as you did here tonight. Tell me about some of these cars we've got out here.
Well, the sixth generation is now alive and well. We've been out in our second year now. We're already producing our 2017s. And of course, our relationship with our performance parts team under Mark Dickens is just phenomenal. Mark used to be part of the Camaro team, so he knows how passionate our customers are. We've also been to many SEMAs with 5th gen and 6th gen Camaro. So we know what SEMA means to our customers. So it gives us a chance to really expand the bandwidth of what can you do with the cars that we have. For instance, the Extreme X, we're here also, you were out with us looking at, we got the 1LE, V6 and V8. You saw some cool performance parts cars out at Spring Mountain the last couple days. Now this is an expression of what could you do with a 2-liter turbo. It's not a 1LE, it's a SEMA concept car, but you never know. It's got some concept-y things on it, but the fact of the matter is there's a huge 2-liter turbo market out there, which coincidentally, a lot of us are from the old GM Performance division where we had a superstar engine in the Ecotec. Took it to Bonneville, had build books. So I personally believe that there is a market out there just waiting to have stage kits for that 2-liter turbo. They want to autocross the car, so this Extreme X gives us a chance to kind of go off in that direction with the 2-liter turbo crowd. And oh, by the way, the 2-liter turbo already is catching our V6 in sales for the Camaro, so it's becoming well known now that this thing is not only 32 miles on the highway, but is a real performer for autocross. So then you go from there and go to the other extreme, the Slammer. So the Slammer had a brother car, the Chevelle, that those were an expression of, we all grew up with Hot Wheels, right? And some very cool metallic flake paint and very bright interiors, usually red. And so we did an expression of, well, what about all of us that were kids and just loved Hot Wheels cars, Camaros and Chevelles? So that's kind of expression on if you could really slam this thing down, get a great metallic paint, a great red interior, it would look like a Hot Wheels car. So that's kind of another extreme Slammer. There's that audience here at SEMA that loves that kind of car as well. So then you've got the test car. That's the Camaro Drag Car that works. Mark did a phenomenal job, Mark Dickens, on his team, taking our ZL1 parts, our SS parts, and some of our race performance parts and putting them into a Camaro. The idea there is somebody that buys an SS that is a weekend drag racer, they're going to take, when they get a little bit of money, like we all do, you're going to put it in your car. So this is intended for those that buy the 6th gen SS and they want to get into the drag racing, and they want to just, like, every time they get a paycheck, they want to put a little bit more. So you can buy it in stages, and you can, if you so choose, you can get one that's done up like the car that we showed here. Camo tape optional.
The thing that showed to me that you guys really understood the market there was coming out with a smaller brake kit for the rear brakes on that car.
Right. That was a key thing, because you really need the bigger tire and the smaller wheel. Obviously, with a smaller wheel, you really need the smaller brakes to go with it. So it was another, stroke of experience, I'll say, that we were able to package that smaller 16-inch brake in the rear that will now you can get your Hoosiers in there with no problem.
And a lot of different, you've got some different options for the differential as well in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We code-named the 250 mil diff from the ZL1 and the 5th gen Gravedigger, because we have a lot of engineers that get paid a lot of money to try to break it, just so our customers can't. And to be honest with you, we could never break one. So we called it Gravedigger. It was probably, some would call it over-designed, but it's a phenomenal rear diff. As production vehicles go, we couldn't package it very well in a production 6th gen ZL1, but the 6th gen, we upgraded that technology to have ELSD. But the Gravedigger does fit. If you take the back cover off, it fits perfectly in the 6th gen, so Mark's team's done a great job packaging that. Like I said, that with the current 6th gen ZL1 prop shaft, the half shafts, you're not going to break parts on the drag strip.
Now, to shift gears here a little bit, you've also got some classic Camaros that you brought out tonight as well.
Yeah, I'm really honored that this summer is the 50th year of the Camaro. 50 years ago, on September 29th, VIN 1001 rolled off the line at Norwood, Ohio. And the car happens to be right here, perfectly restored. This is an awesome family story. Father bought the car to restore with his son. Happened to see, it was a drag car, happened to see 001 in the auction photos and headed out there, drove from Kansas, I think it was South Dakota, drove right out there and had to take a risk that he was really buying 001 and got it. Worked with Chevrolet and worked with some historians to restore it to its original shape. It's an inline six, so this was literally the first car that was built. And then now you jump ahead 50 years, and this is our 50th anniversary, 2016. We pay a subtle tribute to 50 years all around the car, whether it's the center caps, let's say celebrating 50 years of a Chevrolet Camaro, to the 50, the word 50 that's inset in the orange stripes in the hood. In the deck lid here you see it, very subtle, but there's cues all around the car. And then in production, every 6th gen in 2017 gets the 50 logo at the 6 o'clock position on the steering wheel because they're all 50, right? So this is really an honor to be here in this time, in this space, 50 years after the Camaro came out. You know, I'm a lucky guy, and I'm lucky, my team is lucky. We all get to work with people like the folks that restored VIN 001. And then, you know, of course, we get to do our tribute.
Now, one last thing that I thought was really, really cool is the company is rolling out Connect and Cruise and E-Rod kits for 5th gen LT architecture.
Right.
And we've got a really good example of that here tonight.
Right, absolutely. You heard Jim with Dale Jr. Introduce the kit that the previous E-Rods were built for, you know, older vehicles, old hot rods, to get around some of the emission issues they've had to deal with. This allows you to get in your modern hot rod, including a 5th gen or 6th gen Camaro, you know, all emission compliant, and then just crank up the power in the LT block, which is a phenomenal block. You know, it's another one of those legendary small blocks, the LT series. So really happy to be here tonight as Jim got a chance to introduce that.
Well, Al, thank you so much for taking us through all these different cars that we've got here on display. We've got a bunch more stuff coming at you from SEMA this year. Keep it right here.